Today is Thursday, June 11. Welcome to Da News with Bill and the star of the show, Millie.
Are you a good girl? I love you too. Yeah. Here it is, Thursday, June 11 already. Israel is saying that if Trump does not follow through with attacking Iran, like he says, then Israel's prepared to attack Iran by themselves. They realize that this will isolate themselves from most of the rest of the world, but it's that important to them. This is fascinating, man. Fascinating. The Department of Homeland Security has been quietly expanding detention capacity by converting warehouses into concentration camps. Yeah, you believe that? Yeah. This is a key part. Okay, love you too. This is a key part of their plan to deport more than 1 million people every year. There's opposition to these camps being built. A group called Indivisible is rallying public opposition to ICE detention sites to end the warehousing of human beings. The warehousing. Warehouse, jail, same thing to me. They're both ugly. Federal trustees warned Social Security runs dry by 2032. When they say runs dry, it doesn't stop. 1 year ahead of schedule, triggering automatic 22% cuts for 70 million Americans with no congressional fix in sight. You can't be up there. No. Look, you ticked up at a whole screen. Come on, let's go down. I believe the only legitimate fix is to raise the income limit at which you stop paying Social Security, officially known as the contribution and benefit base, or taxable maximum. The current maximum amount of earnings subject to Social Security payroll tax is $184,500. If you make $184,500, you're okay. You can continue to pay 6.5% into Social Security, especially if you're making more than $184,000. If you're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $1 million, you can pay. They ought to at least double that maximum, and then it would be solvent. And nobody's really getting hurt real bad. I mean, either you hurt 70 million Americans real bad, or you hurt very little pain for people who make that much money to continue to pay the tax. Social Security, I don't know, I guess it's a tax, payroll tax, yeah. Anyway, okay, enough of that. PepsiCo in Arizona already has a fleet of trucks with no drivers. These trucks don't need time off. They work 24 hours a day, unlike driver trucks. AI builder Anthropic CEO says it may take a universal basic income to soften the blow of all the jobs that will no longer be in existence. My question is, if Social Security is going to go insolvent by 2032, where will they get the money for universal basic income? They just spout off universal basic income, but they don't say how they're going to do it. Interesting times ahead, folks. This is rich. Representative Jasmine Crockett, you know, that spent 2 hours defending Carmelo Anthony, you know, the young man that stabbed the other young man, claiming on camera, the knife that pierced Austin Metcalf's sternum and killed him was not, quote, was not a deadly weapon, unquote. You know, they're just making things worse by saying stuff like that. The separation. There are black people out there now that hate white people. The hatred has been grown and infested by statements like that. It's too bad. It's really too bad. I guess it was this day. Oh, you good girl. What's that? What's that? Tractor? That's a tractor. Yeah. I guess it was this day in 1963, President Kennedy forced Governor George Wallace to allow 2 black students to enroll at the University of Alabama. It was a giant civil rights moment watched live by the nation. That was 1963. 63 years ago. It's a long time. And we've come a long way. Civil rights have come a long way. But there's still oppression in this nation. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. I know they have this saying, well, black people, if a young black man is in a mostly white neighborhood, they get pulled over as if they can't be there. And they have the saying, driving while being black. I think that's perfect. Perfect statement. It's crazy. The oppression that still happens. It's really too bad. Congress grilled Ohio officials over $1.2 billion in fake Medicaid home health care billing. The state auditor confirmed 15 to 16% of services were never processed through the mandatory tracking systems. It's amazing they don't have a way to catch that. They have to have an auditor. Anyway, the government solution? Not to take the evidence to the Attorney General for prosecution. No, they wouldn't do that. Instead, they send Vice President Vance to Ohio for a fraud enforcement conference. They're going to talk about it. If you're old like me, you might remember a TV show, Gomer Pyle. Remember when he used to say, surprise, surprise? So I'm going to sarcastically say, surprise, surprise. Last minute White House concession. The concession being giving up Trump's choice for Director of National Intelligence. The concessions being made to unblock a bipartisan spy powers deal before Friday's expiration of Section 702, which is the FISA Act. The FISA Act is unconstitutional going around the law spying on Americans. I told you a couple of days ago, they're not going to let FISA expire. FISA was enacted 18 years ago. Once you give the government power like that, they're not going to give it up. So Trump's going to let his pick go, and he'll pick somebody else. They'll do whatever it takes to keep that FISA. After Tehran took too long to reach a deal, President Trump announced on Wednesday that the United States would be attacking them very hard. Despite 2 days of very hard bombing, talks continue. A Qatari delegation is meeting Iran negotiators in Tehran, and Trump said Iran can end it all by signing a treaty. It's kind of like a big guy in the fight has the little guy on the ground in full mount and is hitting him in the head. The big guy says, "Do you give?" And the little guy looks up and says, F you. If the little, come on. If the little guy doesn't die, the big guy might just give up. I'm not sure which one you would call the winner in that case. Like back scratch? Want your back scratch? Yeah, you like that, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. That's it for today, folks. That's all, folks. That's all, Millie. What's that? Tractor. That's a tractor. That's behind us. Yeah, they're tilling that ground behind us. Yeah. This weekend, I'm going up to visit my granddaughter, do a little babysitting, and let her parents go out for a little bit, kind of a Father's Day celebration. And then, since I'm already north quite a bit, I think I might just continue on and go to the high country where it's cooler and do some camping with Muley. And I'm risking gas prices going insane. The war, if it continues, I mean, gas prices are already going to go high. They say that it hasn't kicked in yet, the shortage. It'll take a while to build back up. The reserves are going dry. I guess that's pretty bad. And it takes a while before the prices really hit. So if the war in Iran ends, open the Strait of Hormuz, we might see a little decrease in gas prices. But if not, and they continue on, and Iran doesn't tap out and say, I give, which I don't see them doing, then gas prices might hit $10. It might cost me my whole savings just to get back, because I'm going to New Mexico. That's my plan. So anyway, wish us luck. Wish us luck, huh? Oh, little girl. Yeah, we need luck. Yeah. That's it for the news. Have a great Thursday.